A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Novak Djokovic will be ready to defend his title at Roland Garros in 2022. We've talked about whether or not Novak Djokovic is ready to defend his title at Roland Garros in the past.
He has not been match sharp at this event, and his 2022 campaign may not be what we're used to. Now we'll take a look at how he plans to overcome his lack of match sharpness at Roland Garros.
Novak Djokovic will defend his title at Roland Garros. Novak Djokovic has been able to return to Roland Garros and defend his title in the most prestigious tournament in tennis.
This will be the 21st Grand Slam title for the Serbian. Although he missed the Australian Open last January, officials in France decided that the unvaccinated Serb should be allowed to compete.
However, if the COVID situation continues to worsen, France will implement new restrictions. Djokovic might be able to play in the French Open, but only if he can play with a full crowd.
Djokovic's chances of defending his title at the French Open have been greatly boosted by the news that new visa policies would allow the Serb to enter France. That means Djokovic will be able to compete in the French Open between May 22 and June 5.
Although the match was a grueling one, Djur did well to conserve his energy and serve below 50%. Despite this, Djur did manage to take the lead in the first set, breaking Laszlo in the fifth game.
In the second set, he saved 2 break points and kept the game at love. Djur fought back in the sixth game, but Djokovic hit a backhand winner down the line and won the first set.
Djokovic has a good chance of winning the French Open after the Australian Open, and is tipped to win his 21st Grand Slam. He is also the favorite to surpass Rafael Nadal's all-time major record of 22.
However, he has only played one tournament this year, the Australian Open, due to his unvaccinated status. The French Open will be Djokovic's first tournament back after missing the Australian Open.
As of now, the Serb will defend his French Open title next month. After suffering through a tough few months, Djokovic has only played 2 tournaments this year.
He has also refused to get vaccinated for the flu, a situation which could have affected his tournament performance. This has made him more likely to be banned from the next major tournament.
And he has a very good chance of winning the French Open if he remains unvaccinated. After winning the French Open, Djokovic is the favorite to win the French Open for a 4th consecutive year.
He beat Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in the final and defeated his country's national teammate, Robin Soderling. He then won the Davis Cup tournament in Belgrade.
While he was there, he also played the first round of the Davis Cup against the United States. The Serbian star began his career in 2003 and dominated the world stage in the next decade.
He was able to break the 11-year winning streak of Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. The Serbian champion won the Australian Open for the first time in 2008 and made it to the final 4 years later.
His most recent major title, the French Open, came in the form of a 4-set defeat to German player Philipp Kohlschreiber in the French Open. Novak Djokovic's lack of match sharpness at Roland Garros.
Defending champion Novak Djokovic lost the opening match at Roland Garros, his first major tournament loss in the past 5 years. The Serbian struggled to find his match sharpness after losing the opening set 3 times.
Fokina's piercing shots didn't allow Djokovic to get into his rhythm and the Serb ended up making 45 unforced errors. The Serbian's coach revealed that Djokovic had not expected the tournament to be as long as it is, owing to the COVID restrictions in France.
Regardless, the world no one said he was ready for the tournament, and after a sluggish start to his 2022 season, Djokovic is now level with Rafael Nadal in the Masters 1000.
He reached the quarter-finals in the Dubai Open before losing to qualifier Jiri Vesely, and reached the final in Monte Carlo before falling to Davidovich Fokina. Now he's targeting the Golden Slam, which requires winning an Olympic gold medal as well as a Grand Slam in any of the 4 majors.
In the US Open, however, he came up short and will likely face a rematch with Nadal in the final. Novak Djokovic's loss to Alejandro Davidovich Fokina could be a sign that he's out of match sharpness.
He was sick before coming here, and could not prepare properly for the tournament. He was unable to play at the COVID tournament 3 weeks ago, and got sick before coming here.
It's not a surprise that the Serb was unable to fully recover from his illness. The French Open, which he will defend in 2021, is still in his hands.
In order to win a Grand Slam, Novak Djokovic needs to win matches with match sharpness and class. His recent lack of match sharpness at the French Open could be a sign of a larger mental blockade.
Hopefully, Novak Djokovic will get back on track and prepare for his 4th consecutive French Open title. Until then, he has 2 Masters events in Madrid and Rome to prepare himself.
The Serbian has been denied entry to U.S. Masters 1000 events this year because of his lack of match sharpness. In Tokyo last summer, Djokovic lost in the final to eventual champion Alexander Zverev.
He was then beaten in the Flushing Meadows final by Daniil Medvedev. Despite these setbacks, the world knows.
One has never been more confident, but the lack of match sharpness has dragged him down. This year, Novak Djokovic has had a difficult quarter, but a strong quarter of his draw offers many challenges.
He will likely face a qualifier before the quarterfinals. Among the young challengers in his section, Zverev faces Taylor Fritz and Francis Tiafoe.
The number 8 seed, Roberto Bautista Agut, will also face the number 4 seed in this quarter. Novak Djokovic's unusual 2022 campaign.
Despite being one of the world's top players, Novak Djokovic has a less than rosy public image. A Serbian nationalist, he is controversial and does not command the same level of support as his fellow players Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer.
His recent trip to Bosnia has sparked controversy, particularly when he was photographed with the commander of a paramilitary group involved in the Srebrenica genocide. He also visits the Visoko mountain, the site of a well-documented hoax.
The Bosnian mountains are a magnet for such ideas, and Djokovic says he uses his spiritual connection to charge his body with positive ions. While Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has denied any involvement in Djokovic's exemption request, he has also denied that he was singled out in the controversy.
He has said that he has not been targeted by the government, and the government of Serbia has countered that the country's health officials should have vaccinated Djokovic if he is suffering from a major illness. However, in the Balkans, Novak Djokovic appeared at a public event, maskless, and he attended an award ceremony.
But he could still lose his visa if the country's immigration minister decides to revoke it, which would ban him from the country for 3 years. Normally, Novak Djokovic would be in form and winning several major tournaments by now.
Normally, the Serbian rounds into form by the middle of April and has the Australian Open title in his pocket. But that hasn't been the case in 2022.
Instead, Djokovic has barely played any competitive matches this year. His record is 2-2.
That's hardly good. Djokovic's Australian Open trip last week has sparked controversy in Australia.
There were a number of protests by Novak superfans, as well as an anti-vaccine rally. Those supporters were not the only ones who turned out in Melbourne.
Thousands of anti-Novak commenters took to Instagram to voice their opinions against him. The Serbian government has threatened to deport Djokovic if the investigation continues.
Djokovic's 2022 campaign has been indifferent at best. In the Dubai Tennis Championships, he lost to Jiri Vesely in the quarterfinals.
He then fell to Alejandro Davidovich Fokina in the second round. In Monte Carlo, Djokovic looked out of sorts.
Afterward, his coach Goran Ivanisevic announced that Djokovic was not fully fit, but did not specify what ailment he had. The Serbian star said that early clay courts weren't his favorite hunting grounds, but would continue his turnips in home soil in Belgrade.
Djokovic is one of the world's top players, but he has been linked to the anti-vax movement in recent years. He was recently deported from Australia due to concerns about his vaccination status.
Djokovic's lawyer argued that the visa was invalid due to anti-vax sentiment and did not wish to inflame the situation. However, the decision did not go down well with Djokovic, and his visa was revoked.